Me as a Houdini artist, I wanted to see that happening within Houdini. And I wanted to make a proposal out of that. That makes
Yeah.
sense. So after we do make the proposal and we show to people in the tug and we show how we are using diffusion, inpainting, outpainting, blending different images in Houdini and processing them and using Houdini as a pipeline to wrap around ComfyUI, right? We are not replacing it, we're working with it, but we can provide a better structure of pipeline, I believe, um, because Houdini is a batch processing system, right? You're always
Yeah.
doing, you don't do a rock, you do a rock generator. So the procedural part allows you to batch, and that was a very interesting part. So ComfyUI is amazing, but it's hard to batch things, I would say. So I always saw us supporting ComfyUI to help automate tasks and batch things together and bringing those capabilities into Houdini so more people can experiment with it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think the thought process behind this is also we need to experience it by ourselves so we can understand the limitations and bridge the fear that this will replace us. Doing through this via open source, which is ComfyUI, made a lot of sense because all these other services such as Runway ML, ChatGPT, they only have a web service. So you don't
Yeah.
learn about the technologies that make use of it, but when you use ComfyUI, you'd end up learning about it. So going back to the question of how did I came across with the beta participants, is that once we present to the community, we started gathering information and people who would like to be interested in that. And then we kind of made a pool of people who are most Houdini seniors, some are Houdini juniors, and we provided the tool to them in a private environment where they
Mm-hmm.
could make use of it, provide feedback, together with a bunch of videos that we created to help them use it. So bringing those people in allows us to get a hands-on perspective of the user and design for them, right? And hear the feedback not only on the technical side, but what they're expecting to be able to use GenAI for, right? Because
That Sorry, that means that every one of these beta testers was making his own, let's say, design, shot, whatever,
yes,
and testing the tool in this way.
yes, the way I organize it is that I created 3 weeks of content, and the
Mm-hmm.
first week was just installing and getting image generation.
Mm-hmm.
The second week was to kind of redo the steps that I did for the presentation in May. So in painting, out painting, uh, diffusion rendering, which is using the depth map to condition the GenAI. And week three was more us using not only 3D to generate images, but also catching up with image processing, like sequence processing. Not so much of animation, but that's what the idea. For periods of time, every week we would kind of put up new content and have meetings with the participants. And through these meetings, we would learn what they were thinking, and they would express to us. And that was very amazing because people had all these questions about: Is this good for the studio use? What are the limitations of it? And as soon as we got this into the hands of people, all the very important questions started coming up in a sense
Yeah.
of, can we make use of this commercially? What is the limitation? So not only so going beyond was just kind of the technical, but more of the ethical and also the labor aspect with it. And that was very transformative for me and also for our look onto it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to also be able to proceed with it and have adjust the communication about it that will make sense for artists who wants to kind of get into it and not feel replaced by it.